Like
Okay,
a September,
Dayna.
October
Yeah,
visit
definitely.
is.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. Let's have Dayna do her sound check.
I'm Dayna Patterson, she, her pronouns. I'm coming to you from, am I loud enough? I hear you pointing to your ear.
You're good.
Okay. I am up in Bellingham, Washington, just a few hours north of Sandy. It's very windy today, so I'm hoping that we don't lose power.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So
I'm going to mute myself. Everyone have a wonderful program.
Thank you. Dayna, I just want to double check. Do you want me to just say Dayna Patterson as you just did?
yeah, Dayna Patterson is fine.
Dayna
Kid Patterson, Dayna Patterson is fine either way.
Good. I always don't, I always just like to double check when I've got. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Absolutely. So again, that'll be the order we'll go in. Thank you so much for being here. We're just about a minute away. You all sound fabulous. We'll start, inevitably more folks will continue to join us. And thank you to those of you who have joined us early today. We've got just such a unique, amazing reading for today, and I'm so looking forward to it. Thanks again to everybody in the audience. It's great to see so many friendly faces here, and some folks that I was able to see at AWP. Hi, Cindy. Again, yeah, like I'm so excited for our new book showcase today. Again, we'll be putting links in the chat if you don't have the books by our authors for today and you have the resources. We certainly encourage you to purchase a book on this just fabulous Sunday for our new books showcase. All right, I'm going to take a quick gander at my notes here, and we'll be starting the program in just about a minute, letting some more folks into the room. Thank you one and all for our three readers for today, as well as all of you in our audience joining us live here in Zoom land. And inevitably, I always say a little hello to folks joining in Zoom on Facebook land, as well as those of you with us in Zoom. So, well, just wait, like just about 30 more seconds, and then Don we'll get going, and you'll let me know when we're good to go. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, bienvenidos, everyone. I want to say hello, spring. Hello, spring. For some of you, it is Easter Sunday. I want to wish also my greetings to those folks who've been celebrating Passover this month, and also an amazingly festive Happy Poetry Month to all. I love the cover of March's issue of Poetry Magazine here in the States. It's so colorful, and it's got all the essences of spring bursting with it. And I also love the quotation on the back. It says, "Before I was a poet, I was a lineage," from KB Brookins. Well, today's new book showcase today is indeed about a historic lineage, connecting our three poets today all the way back to Shakespeare's time. Our poets today, and it's our live Cultivating Voices live poetry's new book showcase, with our books today focusing on Shakespeare's women, an interesting connection for each one of the collections that we'll be hearing from today during this month of National Poetry Month in many, many parts of the world. Well, I'm your host, Sandy Yannone. So thrilled to be here for second Sunday of the month, our new book showcase. And I want to thank all of you who joined us for our amazing displays last week of poetry in all kinds of forms. If you were not able to join us live and participate in our open mic where folks read poems that they had written in forms from all over the world, we got to hear forms that some of us had not heard about before. I really recommend that you go to our recordings and take a look at and a look and a listen to our Poets Focus on forms from last week. And as I mentioned, this week we turn our attention to new books, as we always do the second Sunday of the month. But it's not just any new books. These books, as I mentioned, have a unique connection to Shakespeare's women during this month of Shakespeare's birth. And today we are joined by three poets who share this special connection through Shakespeare: Jo Gatford, Elizabeth Sylvia, and Dayna Patterson. A reminder that books will be available in the chat. And if you have the resources, please do support the poets and the presses who are publishing their work. Use the chat lovingly and respectfully to show your appreciation for our three fabulous poets today. And let's get our Sunday showcase started. Again, I'm just really so grateful that Dayna reached out and recommended, could we do a special showcase? And I was like, it's the perfect time. It's April, it's Poetry Month. It's all good. Let's go ahead. And so first today, we will hear from Jo Gatford. Jo Gatford writes flash disguised as poetry and poetry disguised as flash, and mostly can't tell the difference. I love this description of her work. Her work has most recently been published by Broken Sleep Books, Prism, the Luminaire Review, and the New Flash Fiction Review. The Woman's Part is her first collection of prose and poetry inspired by Shakespeare's women, and she is the co-founder of Writers Headquarters and occasionally tweets about weird 17th century mermaid tiles. And I think I'm going to re-up my Twitter account just so I can partake of some weird 17th century mermaid tiles. Would you please welcome our first guest for today's new book showcase, Jo Gatford.
Thank you, Sandy. I could quite happily talk about the weird tiles for the whole hour, to be honest. That, you know, the Dutch Delft tiles, the blue and white ones. If you look up the mermaid ones, they are so weird, and I'm just obsessed with them. Anyway, I digress. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Dayna and Elizabeth, for, I don't know, we found each other. It was just serendipity. We've all released these books around the same time, all on some of the themes, and it's just been a real joy to connect with you guys, and now we're here. So yeah, hi. I'm gonna read a couple of pieces from The Woman's Part. I feel like I need to contextualize a little bit. It was kind of inspired after studying Shakespeare for a long time and getting really frustrated with, not Shakespeare, you know, Shakespeare is problematic in his own way, but it was more like a lot of the literary criticism over the years that just occasionally made me throw a book across a room, asking why Isabella didn't want to take part in non-consensual sex to save her brother. Like, that was really selfish of her, apparently. And, just all the justifications of, let's say, a certain generation of critique that kind of didn't really give the women the love they deserved, that I thought. So I actually think Shakespeare writes women pretty well in a lot of ways, but he was also constrained by the same constraints that we see now in literature and popular media, that these female characters are still being treated the same way. So yeah, I maybe angrily started writing alternative endings, fan fiction maybe. I mean, most of Shakespeare was fan fiction, really, wasn't it? I think there's one play that they don't have a source for. So I just wrote alternative endings, or maybe wrote some thoughts that didn't come out in the play that I would have liked to hear from these characters. Or in the case of Imogen in Cymbeline, just like, nah, that's not how it should have ended. And that kind of grew into a little collection. And then I wanted to tie it with the text. So I took a speech from each of these women and turned it into an erasure poem, which is blackout poem. So you just cross out all the words you don't want and make a whole new poem, which was the first time I've done it, actually. And it was a lot of fun. And that felt like subtext, bringing out actually what is in their words that didn't come out. And so I have 13 little pairs of stories and poems. I say stories, I know this is a poetry thing. I do think my flash fiction is often called prose poetry, and it's often been said to be poetic. So I'm saying they're poems, okay? So don't kick me out, please. But the erasure poems are technically poems. If you have a favorite character that you would like me to read, please say so. Otherwise, I've got a few from, I kind of divided them into acts, as in the kind of women that you find in Shakespeare. So you have the lover, whose role is to be wedded or deaded, usually. You have like the misbehavior, so a woman who steps outside her boundaries, often always killed, sometimes survives, but is then married, and most of her misbehaving then is stopped. You have the redeemer, so a woman who is kind of there just to save the male protagonist. Sacrifice, same, also ends up dead mostly. And then the final one is the woman's part, which are really just the characters that I really wanted to rage about, that they deserve better. So yeah, I'm going to read a little one from each section if I have enough time. I haven't waffled too much. I'm going to start with Ophelia, who hopefully you all have heard of. And in the play, she gets told, "Get thee to a nunnery," which is where this piece started from. Ophelia. In the nunnery, it is quiet and still. The day is long and full. She digs in the garden, tending the beds in the shade. She sinks her hands into the earth up to the wrist, works the soil beneath her fingernails, breathes the rot down deep. She picks herbs for dinner, for crushing into salves, for hanging to dry in her little cell. It smells of old stone and wood smoke and work sweat, a space of her own, closed to the world of man. Not even her father, not even the king, whoever he may be. She's almost forgotten about the boy in his half-buttoned shirt, his half-gartered stockings, his half-rhyming poetry, his guilt and his vengeance and his philosophy. She took him at his word and left, took the cloth and the vow, and neither knows nor cares much what happened after. He never laid in her lap, never mistook her father for a rat, never sent her letters. She gathers flowers for her sisters, rue for grace, daisies for innocence, violets for modesty. And in the last stretch of dusk, before the bells ring for vespers, she walks along the riverside and listens to it sing. and nothing bad happens to her, is the point. Because, we deserve this. And then I took her speech where she is starting to lose her mind, and she comes back to the court and she starts giving out flowers, and everyone's a little bit shell-shocked. And I just picked out what I thought might be going on in there. All will be well. We must lay in the cold ground. Come, sweet night, good night. Barefaced in rain, you must sing. The wheel is for remembrance, thoughts for you and some for me. I would give you a good end. Sing for all my joy. Come, come, go to thy bed. Cast away mercy and pray. And that's my little Ophelia piece. Thank you. I have, my favorite is the misbehavers. Someone's asked for Amelia. I do love Amelia a lot, and I need to write about her, but I love Beatrice more. I feel like she might be the only one of women, Shakespeare's women, who actually gets to say what she means, which is why I shouldn't really have to write a poem about her, but hopefully this one is just taking what she had a little step further. So this is Beatrice. She sits in the dust of the marketplace and eats his whole heart, still hot from his chest, one bite at a time, and all the stars dance to see it. The soldiers skirt the square, but there's no precedence for this. If she were a man, they would already have her in chains. If she were a man, he would have known to draw the moment he caught the hunger in her eye. If she were a man, she could claim her kill for honor, for reputation, for justice, rhetoric made palatable. But she's just a woman, skirts spread wide, bloody up to her elbows. She chews slowly, mechanically, wipes her mouth with the back of her sleeve, and watches the soldiers skitter as she gets to her feet. Any one of them could be next, now she has the stomach for it, and now she knows it can be done. That's my Beatrice. I really struggled with her erasure poetry because her speech, where she's telling Benedict to kill Claudio, is pretty much perfect anyway as it is. So it's really short, and it just says, a man would eat a man, surely, surely. Oh, manhood, valiant as a lie. And that's my Beatrice. These kind of get angrier and angrier as they go on. But this is the midpoint of the book, and there's only one poem in this act, which is the Redeemer. And I've chosen Hermione because The Winter's Tale drives me insane. And there's no thing is, I did an MA on Shakespeare, and you can't write about this stuff really in an essay, which is why this exists. But yeah, there's no redemption in that play. It's just not. This is my version of Hermione's play. In another story, she does not turn statuesque. There's nothing noble about forgiveness, and her suffering is not worth his redemption. She trades 17 years of silence for a ship and sails north to find her daughter. And that's pretty much it, really. That's how the play should have gone. She goes, no, sir, I'm going. Again, her erasure poetry is based on a speech that she gives in court, which is fabulous. But I've tried to take out the legalese and maybe say what she was trying to say, which is, Sir, Sir, speak not. Sir, you seek comfort like one infectious. Privilege, my liege, I fear it not. I condemn your jealousies, your honours I do judge. And that is her speech, or what should have been in the court. I have two more parts. Act 4 is the sacrifice, and I mean, there's so many sacrifices in Shakespeare, but mostly women. In this one, I have Volumnia and Cordelia, but also, if I can find her, Lavinia, who I think has possibly the worst deal in all of Shakespeare. If you don't know the play, Titus Andronicus, there's a lot of blood, and people have like passed out watching it. But Lavinia really gets the short straw. I won't spoil it for you. I know it's 400 years old, but this is maybe a more toned down version of her perspective. Lavinia bakes with her father. They roll the dough hand by hand, cut out a line of little people, currants for eyes and orange-rind smiles. The scent of anise, the fire warm at their backs. Lavinia practices her letters in the sand. She prefers the soft clay of a tablet, the dexterity of a stylus, but the words look bold at her feet, made large and round like a shout. Lavinia walks in the shade, the same worn track she's always trailed. She does not need a chaperone. Nothing could be safer than her father's land. She slips a rabbit from its snare and watches it flee, kicking more than leaping, silent and blank-eyed, even in its terror. Lavinia sits down to dinner with her family. Her uncle swats flies in the thick evening heat. The smell of roasted meat stirs the insects into a fervor. Lavinia cries for the ones he catches. Their little legs keep twitching even after the rest of them stills. Her father chides, Lavinia, hold your tongue. Lavinia, eat up your supper like a good girl. Lavinia takes a bite and spits out red ribbons. If you don't know the play, that might not make an awful lot of sense, but just imagine it's a nice, happy father-daughter story. Nothing bad happens. Again, everything's fine. Her erasure poem, I guess, is asking for help because she doesn't really get it. Here's what I picked out from her speech. This is her actually speaking to Tamora, who is the queen, who is sort of orchestrates everybody's downfall in a way. The young learn wrath, not pity. Oh, forlorn children, oh, so pitiful. Teach my father that he might be gentle and keep me from loathsome man's eye. That's poor Lavinia, who lived happily ever after. Yes, she did. My final section is just called The Woman's Part, which is from Cymbeline, where the male protagonist, Posthumus Leonatus, has it suggested to him that his wife might not be true to him while he's away. So he decides to test her, and he sends his drinking buddy to go and steal her bracelet and prove that she wouldn't sleep with him. And it goes about as much as you expect. And even though she's innocent, he believes that she's false. He then gives this very famous speech called The Woman's Part, which says that he would like to get rid of any part of him that came from a woman, even though a woman birthed him and fed him and raised him, because everything sinful and terrible in the world comes from women. And it's a very, it's the kind of speech you might still see today on social media. So this is, and they end up married at the end. It's all happy despite this. But yeah, it always kind of annoyed me about that Imogen could do better. And this is how I wanted that play to end. This is Imogen. Here is how it should have ended, with fire and blade and retribution. She does not forget to be a woman. If all men's faults are hers to claim, why shouldn't she take them all? She dresses in soldiers' weeds and cuts through the line, indiscriminate in her decimation. She does not care whose army is whose, how many die of hubris in her wake, what they call her afterwards. Victory is a palimpsest, and words are as mutable as a jealous man's mind. She marches on her father's house and takes an axe to the tree holding up its old stones, takes a torch to its broken bones, takes her throne and sets her woman's part upon it. This is how it should have ended, without mercy or restraint or fidelity, their doubts made manifest, their frailty laid bare, their dust at her feet. And that's my Imogen.
Oh,
Thank you.
so wonderful, Joe. It's so amazing, and I really marvel at how you bring these women to a different life and a different light. Particularly through using erasure. Like,
It was so much fun.
to bring I mean, the juxtaposition of erasure as the thing that brings them forth. That contrast. And, I was thinking so much that for better or for worse, these stories still really do continue to ring true and and feel very contemporary, like the issues and the themes. And as I said, and as you mentioned, that can be for better or for worse. I very rarely do this in the new book showcase, but someone requested that if you have a Kate from Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, I don't, do you know what?
You don't?
I really tried.
Yeah,
I tried
okay,
so
okay.
much to write Kate, and I think because she's so full of one-liners anyway. And I know the ending is terrible, but yeah, I really struggled actually with Kate. But also there's only 13 in here, and I feel like there's a volume 2 because there's 27 plays to go. So yeah. But sorry, I don't have a Kate.
So next time, Kate, and we may have some Kate a little
Yeah.
forward this afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much. That's Joe Gatford, everyone. Kicking off our new book showcase today with our focus on contemporary interpretations of Shakespeare's women in this month of Shakespeare's birth, and also again really in a unique way for us to continue to celebrate Poetry Month here at Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Well, our next poet, I mean, again, I really do love these themed readings, and it's very rare that we actually use a new book showcase to have a theme. And so how our 3 poets today bob and weave with their poetry together is going to be very interesting to watch unfold. Our next poet that we'll hear from in that endeavor is Elizabeth Sylvia. Elizabeth Sylvia is a poet and a teacher from Massachusetts, and her poems have been published widely, with her including her first book, None But Witches, from 2022, which won the 2021 3 Mile Harbor Press Book Prize. She's been a semi or finalist in competitions sponsored by Diagram, 30 West, C&R and Wolfson Press, and is a reader for Swim. Swim every day. If you do not subscribe, do. It is absolutely one of the best online journals in the United States by far. I love what Swim does. Thank you for being part of that collaborative, which amplifies women's voices. And it's, of course, then no surprise that you're here doing the same today with us, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Sylvia, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sandy. That you give an amazing introduction. Like you could teach how to give an introduction class, I think. And yes, a swim is amazing, and you don't even have to do anything. Once you've signed up, it comes right to you. You don't have to look for it or.
It's so easy. It just arrives and incredible. Yesterday was Susanna Case, and who's a member of ours. We have many, many members who've read, and of course, many of the swimmers, the founders. So anyway, thank you very much.
And Joe, that was fantastic. I really, listening to you read those, I felt like you have gently released these characters from their cage, whereas my book, I think, just dragged them through my own mud with me. So when Joe was saying, I think some of these are kind of angry, I'm like, yes, mine are angry too. My friend Heidi had my book right after it came out, and one day she came downstairs and her boyfriend was reading it, and he said, "This is really good. Is Elizabeth okay?" And I thought, you should ask Shakespeare if he's okay, because he started this. So my book, I will preface my book by saying that in 2018, for my New Year's resolution, I decided that I was going to read all of Shakespeare's plays in 1 year, which I didn't do. It took 2 years, so don't be impressed. It took 2 entire years to read them all. And I read them in my Oxford Complete Shakespeare, which is organized chronologically. And I had taken Shakespeare classes before and stuff, but nobody teaches those early plays, and man, they are brutal. They are so bloody. And if you're a mom, as I am, they are like wretched to moms in particular. Like if you are a mom in Shakespeare in any of the first, I would say probably 18 plays, and you have a kid, guess what? They're not going to be alive by the end of that play. So, and I wasn't planning on writing about these at all, but you know what happened? I got to Titus Andronicus and I was like, I can't take this anymore. I wasn't going to read my Lavinia poem, but I decided to because of Joe. However, I will start with my proem to the book, which is just called Shakespeare's Women, to give you a sense of how I felt when I was about halfway through reading the plays. I used to believe the men who told me Shakespeare was remarkable for making female characters who were as round as men. I don't believe that anymore. Instead, I think he wrote as he could write. What intelligence he casts into Juliet or Portia, just his own maleness animating them. It doesn't matter, finally, if they are witty or can solve a vexing problem. All they do is orbit, casting here and there reflected light. And when they light the path, it is a man's path they light. Or if they should darken it, it is the darkness of the path that worries us, and not the way their face has disappeared. Okay, so here's my Lavinia poem. She is in the first section of my book, which is called Daughters. For all of those, no, she's not. It's called Queens. It's all called Queens, not Daughters, but she's there anyway. And Joe didn't spoil it for you, but I will say that the epigraph to my poem says, Lavinia tween her stumps does hold the basin that receives your guilty blood, because she does have her hands cut off. And this is called Blood-Mouthed. Cut tongues couldn't tell a story. This set Lavinia out on the rock crop, blood-mouthed and unscreaming. Whosoever passed must pity her, for she had lost the world and lost her words. Did she deserve such cup of trembling? Anyone can turn a grief to rage. In all relations, we are either blind or cruel. Those who keep their tongues mouth snakes of lies, and those who keep their hands do nothing. Is there a tale I know more than this one? Unhanded, untongued, I hold still the bowl that gathers the blood of those who do me wrong. Dream their bones ground to dust, hold tight with cautered wrists. Never mind my own end coming. This next one kind of leans into that idea. It's called Resurrections. What all the women in Shakespeare want much more than to live is dying. They promise it at every turn. I understand. I too tire at the sound of my voice, begin to stomp and boo in the hope I will hasten off stage left and make more room for the whoring and fighting. And to reprieve the embarrassment of having misjudged, thought myself brazenly faithless. Would I want to go on looking at myself? No. It's the shame of being noticed that gets me. Though the promise to die goes always unremarked on, just like the love that inspires it burns in a little unnoticed closet, where I could hang myself, but then somehow reappear and find myself again in the fifth act, all smiles and forgiveness. So one of my favorite Shakespearean characters actually is Helena from A Midsummer Night's Dream, because I think she represents the best of not having any sense of shame or embarrassment about yourself. And I often wish I was more like that, actually, that I could be unapologetic about wanting things instead of always being worried about what other people will think. So this is a letter poem that I wrote to her called Dear Helena. And the epigraph, which is one of Helena's lines, is to Demetrius, I am your spaniel. So I want that on a Valentine someday, actually. Dear Helena, when you told Demetrius that the girl he lusted for was headed to the forest with the boy she wanted in her turn, and then you followed him with hopes that he would beat you like his dog, I knew you were someone I could talk to. Say want is a shadow twin beguiling all our deeds, a double with us in the sack, a night comforter, an eater from our plate. Don't let me deny want is my sister. Help me own her. For I can take little from love's platter, though offered. I make love like the messenger bee, treasuring the glinting dust the flower shakes away. Helena, you do not want these ways. Your want is grasping, adores the face of its shame, feels hot in the cold, does not care if in the end you lick stolen love dropped by Oberon off the back of a truck. Teach me to want so that I should not even need a potion to admit how I have longed for an ass's head. So when I got to the end of reading all of Shakespeare's plays, I decided that my vision at the beginning was maybe unfair, that my Shakespeare's Women poem was a little unfair. And so I wrote a palinode which is a poem in which you retract something that you said in an earlier poem. And this is called a palinode for Shakespeare's women. If you watch a lot of TV, especially critically acclaimed, you might come to suspect that a woman is a pair of tits attached to broken, a hurt circuit flipped again and again. It's like we get written into believing we are the worst thing ever done to us. So I love how the women in Shakespeare always say exactly what they think is true and are never only watery bags of damage about to burst all over the scene. When horrible things have been done to them, they want revenge, but not because vengeance is the taste trauma leaves flowering in their mouths. Revenge is the word men use for restoration, for imagining justice in the world. In the comedies, they get their due, and all returns to harmony. And when disaster ends in tragedy, the women forge on through blood, witnessing and roaring that we are more than would be made of us. And in the spirit of characters who go on roaring through blood, I have to give my most beloved Shakespeare character to Margaret, to Queen Margaret, who is also, by the way, is the subject of an absolutely amazing play that I went to see recently called By the Queen. I think the writer is named Whitney White. If you have a chance to go see that, it was phenomenal. A reimagining of her life. She is the wife of Henry VI, and he's kind of a milquetoast, but she's amazing, and of course thus has to be destroyed by all the men who surround her. And this is my poem in her voice. It's called Quondam, which is an old-fashioned word for meaning formerly. The epigraph is, "Why should she live to fill the world with words?" From Richard, Duke of York. Men rate me tigerish and adder-tongued, not beautiful, and therefore bestial, veined through with rot. When they encounter me among their dead, whom I have so unmanned with my wild mouth, I soak my handkerchief in blood and rub their faces with the mess of it. Childbirth's red split foretold the moment I would move to cut your throat instead of lifting mine for you to take. Oh, you can swear that gentleness has put no hand upon me, nor has reason traced the outline of my mind, but I will not succumb to seal your treaty or your bed. I will be wild and fierce, remembering how I came here through storm as one who drank salt and dived upon the rocks, cracking the black shells of mussels and eating their raw hearts, that the braced wind felt every hollow of my body. Once I ran across the sea cliff, half wolf with an eagle heart, the white chalk crumbling behind me, nothing of the past in my lungs. So I thought that I might wrap it up actually with a poem that's not in my book, because I would love to give a shout out to the anthology, which is being put out by Broken Sleep Books. Joe also has a poem in it. It's coming out this month. It's an anthology of new poems that are all about Anne Shakespeare, because this year is the 400th anniversary of her death. And I think the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust commissioned it. So I haven't read this poem before, but I thought it would be exciting to close it up with that. And this is my poem from the anthology. It's called Anne Shakespeare Self-Portrait as Hades. So for anybody who needs a Greek mythology reminder, Hades is the god of the underworld, and he is married to Persephone, who basically he kidnapped to bring her down to the underworld, where she lives with him for half the year, thus causing us to have winter when her mom is really mad, and her mom Demeter is really mad and messes up the weather. So this is Anne Shakespeare Self-Portrait as Hades. I was blamed for taking Will to my darkness. I can only say he fell across my heart like rain, and I burned to feed him my red fruits. Now he lives in London, and I shoulder the dark beams of the house, attend the spirits we have lost, cradle our dead boy. Some declare Will has escaped me. Evenings, I stoke the giant hearth, knowing the glittered season will return him. And I grow the seeds that bind us, dip my quill in pomegranate ink, call William to his home within, my ruby note thrumming below the streets of the great city, piercing the passing bustle of the world. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. What poems. I was so struck, Elizabeth, throughout the entire reading, and thinking also about Joe's reading as well, about how this hearkening back through time brings forth these new constellations of language. And just like the way that using the inspiration of these women and these characters, and what they've spoken or left unspoken, is the heart of poetry. I mean, and which is what you are bringing forth in these poems, just lines after lines of things I've written down, just astounding. And I really love the idea of writing a letter poem back to any of Shakespeare's women. That could be its own anthology in the future. Everybody, this is my invitation to each of you to take Elizabeth's lead and write a letter poem to one of Shakespeare's women. It'd be incredible for I think you to find what you each would want to say, and what you could bring forth through these incredible examples that we've heard today, from how you've kind of cast these spells, so to speak, through your poems. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
What an incredible reading. I can't wait to go to the next. I can't wait till the next time I get to hear you read from this book. Well, folks, I let you know at the beginning. I tried to let you know at the beginning that we were in for this, this amazing movement in time and language and words and power. There's such power in the poetry that and flash fiction and prose poetry that we've heard from Joe and Elizabeth, and we crescendo on, move forward for our final reader today, Dayna Patterson, who really was the brainchild of bringing this triumvirate of poets together today. So grateful and so looking forward to hearing from Dayna's work today, who's joining us for a reunion from has read with us before in a new book showcase, and so glad that you contacted me and inquired, can we do this special event? And it's truly been an inspiration. It's just lit up my brain today, lit up my brain, my heart, my mind, my soul. Well, Dayna Patterson is a photographer, textile artist, and irreverent bardophile. It's one of the best descriptions I have heard of oneself in a long time. She is the author of Oh Lady, Speak Again, from Signature Books of this year. And she joined us in a new book showcase where we were able to hear from If Mother Braids a Waterfall from Signature Books in 2020 and Titania in Yellow from Porkbelly Press in 2019. Dayna's been honored widely, including the Association for Mormon Letters Poetry Award and the 2019 Dignity Not Detention Poetry Prize, judged by Ilya Kaminsky. And she is the founding editor, now the emerita editor of Sultry and Lyre, and a co-editor of Dove Song, Heavenly Mother in Mormon Poetry. Would you please welcome this innovator of bringing forth poetry in April and all of Shakespeare's women, Dayna Patterson.
How can I even follow that, Sandy? You're such a sweetheart. And just the credit goes to Elizabeth for noticing that the three of us had books all coming out at the same time. And I think Elizabeth tweeted something and I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, we all have these books coming out at the same time. That's so cool. And so we began plotting from there. But thank you so much for having us and for having this space for us. It's really exciting for me to get to hear Joe and Elizabeth read in their own voices. I've enjoyed their books on my own, but hearing them explain kind of the genesis of their projects and how they came together was really lovely. So thank you. Yeah, I'm going to read a little bit from Oh Lady, Speak Again. I feel like Elizabeth and Joe, your books are, how do I say this? Mine is weird. That's what I want to say. Like, I feel like anybody who appreciates Shakespeare should read and get your books. And mine has this weird inflection of post-Mormon feminism in it. I was going through some things. I was becoming a mother. I was on my way out of a high demand faith, Mormonism. And I used persona and these self-portrait poems as kind of a way of getting at some material that was personal and scary and hard to write about. So there are several self-portrait poems and several persona poems that kind of mash my identity with some of these women from Shakespeare. And I think I started out more general when I was starting to write about Shakespeare, and my MFA, this was my MFA thesis that I wrote at Western Washington University, and my advisor was the wonderful Bruce Beasley, and he kept encouraging me to get more weird and to bring the Mormonism in there. So I just kept doing it. And this is what happened, this book. So I'll read a few poems. I'm going to start with a sound poem. I had a Shakespeare professor who, as we were reading King Lear, and the wind is blowing really loud outside. You can't hear it, but where I'm at, it's very stormy and blowy. So we were reading the passage where King Lear is going mad and saying, blow winds, crack your cheeks, rage blow. And I was noticing all these O sounds. And my professor, M.J. Metzger, said, well, O is the sound of tragedy. That's the sound that characters make when they are sorrowing. So I stole that sentence from her mouth and turned it into this poem. O is the sound of tragedy. O, as in Romeo's doomed romance, as in Juliet's hopeless wound. O, for the little moan in Desdemona, alpha and omega of Othello, noose at the end of Iago. O, as the coward in Antony, whose auto-destruct proved too slow. O, of Cleopatra's poison, the coiled asp of her final show, as in Lear's blow winds and crack your cheeks, rage, blow. His crawl toward old. O, as in woe, open mouth circle, hole in our faces, exit of groans, flow where flies or food may go. My mother's float, my father's snow, my faith in the whole, holy, holy broke. O, for the gone in Goneril, O, as in go, run, revoke the order for Cordelia's, oh no. O, for the double O's of Gloucester's eyes, the twin O's in look, which he can't because O is for out, vile jelly, O, as in mold, fold, follow, folly, fall into nothing, no thing to zero. O, as in globe, rotundity of the world, loaded with the O of sorrow. O, probes and prones, look, 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 to see so much and know. O says no, no, no life, no breath, no more, ghost, poor fool, undo. O, for ambition's goad, for the smoke of Macbeth's unholy goal. O, for Ophelia drowned, for Hamlet's lost crown, his dying throes, his O, I die, Horatio, his O, 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 O. He makes 4 O sounds as he's dying. He dies with 4 O's. That seems like an excessive number of O's, but whatever. This next bit, like Joe, I often have the impulse to want to write a new ending. I love me a happy ending. I'm a happy endings girl. When we're watching a movie, I'm like, does it have a happy ending? I need to know so that I can relax. Every time I sit down to watch Hamlet, I'm like, maybe this time there's going to be a happy ending. And it doesn't ever happen. So this is my attempt at doing a little bit of what Joe has done and writing some happy endings into Shakespeare. This piece is called In This Version. Romeo doesn't drink the apothecary's poison, and Juliet awakens in his arms. They ride horseback to Mantua and have 7 kids, hyphenate their surnames, Montague Capulet. Hamlet checks behind the hangings, sword sheathed, and Ophelia doesn't drown in the glassy brook, but goes to a women's college, studies botany. Fratricidal Uncle King, guilt-gutted, offs himself. In this version, Lear doesn't banish his third girl, and Cordelia cares for him in second childhood, spooning mashed turnip to his lips when teeth fail, cradles his head as he slips into void. Othello suspects his suspicions, suffocates his doubts, crushes the spine of Iago's lie, loosens the villain's tongue so he finally explains, and Desdemona bears cinnamon twins. The nursling lives, and Lady Macbeth, Thane's wife, is queenly, but not queen, is content with legacy, only night walking to hush her infant's teething, only brewing wild poppy and milk for its gums. In this version, I chase away my mother's blue beasts, concoct a strong spell to keep her from breaking out of my childhood. Later, when I break from my father's faith, fissures don't shift to ravines. Leontes believes Hermione, or better yet, he never succumbs to morbid jealousy. Therefore, their Perdita grows up like a song, her mother's face familiar as sun on her skin. There's lots of ways we could rewrite these different stories, right, to put them on like a happier trajectory and see some of these characters into happier spaces. Oh, I see that we're almost to the hour. Can I keep going, Sandy, or should
Oh,
I?
absolutely. Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. No worries.
Maybe I'll just do two more poems. I had such a hard time writing about Juliet. Oh, and there are many characters I did not write about at all that I found, like I tried to write about, like Cleopatra, and they just all fell on their faces. I tried to write some Kate, some Taming of the Shrew poems, fell flat. They were horrible. Sorry, whoever wanted the Taming of the Shrew poems. I also don't have one to share with you. But Juliet, it took years and years and years. This is a really hard one poem, so I feel like I have to share it every time I read from this book because it took so long. I would think it was done and I would send it out and it would get rejected by gobs of journals. And I was like, maybe it's not done. And finally, when my oldest daughter turned the age that Juliet is at the beginning of the play, which is 2 weeks shy of 14, some things clicked in my mind, and it gave me what I feel like is an angle to write about. And I also listened to this wonderful podcast on Shakespeare Unlimited, where they were interviewing Olivia Hussey about her experience playing Juliet in the Zeffirelli version of the movie. Fantastic. So those threads kind of came together and gave me an angle into this prosy piece called the Juliet Ode, which is another way of writing a letter to a character from Shakespeare. Just write them an ode. You're writing to them anyway. Juliet Ode. Your bronze statues damaged from all the tourists who rub a breast for luck. In Verona, at the Casa de Giulietta, it grows holes, burnished from the friction of so many hands. Holy girl, mauled flower. In high school, I fell a little in love with Olivia Hussey. Her fiery green eyes, her feistiness, the 2-second flash of her breasts across the screen, which the teacher tried to cover, too late, with a poster. Whirligig girl, 13ing through a country of volcanoes and smoke. Now that my own daughter is your age, just shy of a sonnet, a well of secrets. I confess I hate the story you're caged in. You marry after a day's acquaintance, sweep aside Romeo's manslaughter, embrace his nightshade. A few acts later, you slide his knife into your chest, make of your body a sheath. I want to rage at your creator, Dear puppet, let's be honest. He's pulled your strings all along. I want to travel back in time, say 13 is still a child. A child. Bambina, signorina, little rose window flushed scarlet, sun smatter blushing your pains. Did you know Olivia was 16 when she played you? Too young to be flashing anything. But the director nicknamed her Boobsamina, hollered it in front of the crew, cajoled her into shooting the bedroom scene topless. Oh, Shakespeare. Oh, Zeffirelli, a plague on both your houses. Oh, patriarchy, for my daughter's sake, for every girl's sake, I want to cut these strings. Resurrected dame, new maid Montague, the bright pool of you pooling on a dagger's edge in carnadine, staining mausoleum stone. For every lovesick kid who feels trapped in their narrative, I want a new ending. In Spain, there's a version of your story no one remembers, where the complex knots of the plot come undone. Priest's missive received. Romeo arrives in time, and you shame feuding parents to repentance. I love to imagine you grown, even graying. Here you stand on a different balcony, brushing, oiling, braiding thick coils of your daughter's hair into a crown before you descend together, arm in arm, into the garden to see what pushes up through soil, what opens in the sun. Musk rose, lily, woodbine, what has been allowed to bloom. I will close with my Ophelia poem. Since we started with Ophelia, right? We started with Ophelia, I'll end with Ophelia. I love your Ophelia piece very much, Joe. I took just a slightly different direction where she turns into an amphibious human. So, but she still has a happy ending. This is Ophelia Amphibian. Let's say she dives in to see the eels, their glistening coils, and finds her gills. Let's say she spies a window to self-preservation, decides to still, pales for her funeral, allows limbs to dead weight atop her bier all the long way to the graveyard. She's careful not to flutter the sheer linen with breathing, soundless in her hibernation, as the men protest over who loved her most. She lets her cold blood soak up earth's chill. Then, after rain, she surfaces through muddy layers, awakes from her torpor, shedding shroud like a skin. Up into the sky's blue burn, she migrates, arrives at the overwintering place, away from Denmark, away from Hamlet, away from the proddings of her father's ghost and her brother's commandments. Thou shalt, thou shalt, thou's halt. She renames herself Leah, bearer of good news, of good nows. Free, she studies botanical phonemes, floral linguistics, the quiet of plants interspeaking their instant messaging. Here she lays claim to the understory, hers a glassy stream to swim, a mossery to lie down in, hers a mouthful of forest floor and worm and lichen and sap. See her with algae scooped in her palm, a jeweler's glass hitched to her eye, a none such nunnery of green. You both end up in a nunnery, just a different kind of nunnery. Thank you so much.
All I can say is, oh, 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 from the book, Dayna Patterson, oh, lady, speak again.
You can't say, oh, though, Sandy. That's the sound of tragedy, unless you're hurting. Are you hurting right now?
There's an ecstatic quality to even the tragedy, right? Like, because the work transforms it. The poems transform what had previously been the O of tragedy to when these women are speaking to, there's ecstasy in being released from the silences and the tragedies.
I like that a lot, Sandy. I like
That's
the interpretation a lot.
that's what I have taken so much from the power of your reading and in the entirety of the reading today. Just incredible work, and also the persistence of this manuscript. The persistence of this manuscript. It being your MFA manuscript, and coming back to it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know if you're referring to how I have posted about how it was rejected many times.
Yes.
55 times. It was rejected 55 times, but it finally found a home with Signature Books, and I was really happy. Yeah, persistence. Don't give up. Don't give up, people.
It's a thing I talk about with Boats for Women. 20 years, waited 20 years. It's the same thing. That persistence, and look what happened when Dayna opened the book today. What burst forth, what bloomed. Incredible work. Folks, there you go. Right. That's right. Where are all my hearts? Oh my gosh. I'm putting up my 3 hearts. I've never done a 3 heart at once. I can't even do it. There they are, like 3 hearts at once. For our 3 readers today, in our new book showcase, Joe Gatford, Elizabeth Sylvia, and Dayna Patterson. Folks, would you unmute and show so much appreciation for this constellation of poetry that has aligned itself beautifully today.
Bravo!
Yay!
Bravo!
I'd like to do it all over again and just have a whole nother hour of just listening to it all over again. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I hope the
Excellent.
3 of you will continue to go forth and do these readings together, because I also think they are so inspiring for other folks to take the leap to go back to texts that are really looking for alternative realities and interpretations, and unleashing the powers of their narratives. Like, it's such an incredible example of what the 3 of you have done. individually, like each of these collections is so unique, but the thread of what runs through is that power of speaking to patriarchy. And it was just an incredible display of poetry and language, as I was saying, like going back to working with and being awashed with a different cadence and a different and different rhythms and sounds brings forth brought forth incredible rhythms and sounds like I haven't heard in many a time. So I just marveled, really just marvel at the voices in these poems, at the pure voices that the three of you have crafted and created and recreated. Again, thank you, Joe Gatford, Elizabeth Sylvia, Dayna Patterson, for today's new books showcase. Again, everyone, you can, and I encourage you to, if you have the resources, buy not one, not two, but 3 of the collections today, and support the poets and the presses. What a display of poetry today. What a display of poetry today. Well, next week we return for Poetry Month, everyone, and it will be our wild card open mic for National Poetry Month. What will you bring forward? What will you bring forward in your astounding voices? Join us, come 15 minutes before the start of the program for signups, because the signups go like wildfire. So if you hope to be in our first round of featured readers and not make that wait list, come on 15 minutes before. We look forward to hearing your voice, particular during this month of April, Poetry Month, here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry and across the globe. Well, everyone, that is it for today's program. Again, thank you to those of you joining us live in Zoom. Thank you to those of us who are watching live in Facebook. And thank you always. Hundreds of you watch us in our recordings. And thanks to Don Krieger and to Kim Porch Parsons for creating the foundation for the program. Again, Joe Gatford, Elizabeth Sylvia, Dayna Patterson, what a contribution to our reading today. I encourage all of you to go out this month of Poetry Month, and use the inspiration from the readings that you're hearing today to take care of yourselves through the power of poetry. Take very good care of your beloveds, and find the inspiration to carry forward your voice and the voices of others. And oh, keep writing those remarkable poems. I'm Sandy Yannone for Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. We will see you next week. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.